Well, look who it is. Welcome to another episode of How Ugly Is My Face? And nothing says how ugly is your face like poor lighting in your system, right? Oh, I talk about this all the time. But I don't have a proper microphone. I don't have the cool chair that you're supposed to have as an influencer. And I definitely don't have the lighting that you want. Oh, so let's start the day off, not just with my face, because the face, well, I mean, it's getting better, but not really. We're kind of like in a plateau phase. But we could talk about Elon Fuss. Elon Fuss has been out of the news for a little while. What happens when Elon Fuss is out of the news for a little while? Well, you discover new things, like there's this blue glue that he invented. No, he didn't invent it. Somebody invented that he uses to put bumpers together. And apparently, if you put it together onto these two like things with holes on the top, then you can actually lift a whole Cybertruck with this blue glue. It's definitely not that China glue that we all talk about. Maybe they should put some of that blue glue in the new kits for the remote control vehicles hobby. Man, forget Loctite. Loctite is a joke compared to this blue glue. Oh, why am I talking about that? Oh yeah, because it's Elon Fuss's birthday today. Happy birthday, happy birthday. She-Ra. Oh no, anyway. I'm trying to stay out of politics, but sometimes it's just too funny and you have to make fun of the fun. Oh, anyway, did you guys see the latest episode of Kim Java? Pretty cool. What else is being done out there in the world? Oh yeah. Somebody. Feed Phil. He's got a cool thing in new episodes on Netflix with Ray. I always bring up Raymonds from Everybody Loves Raymond and his brother and stuff. Because when I was but a young pup trying to come to this country, I'd seen one of the episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond. And Raymond said, why doesn't somebody come out to America and make an American-made car that when you bump into another car, it doesn't just go and it gets totaled. It's like bumper cars. And I took that to heart. And I made my way all the way here. I think the company that I tried to use was Davis or something. But I was $15,000 short of my dream of creating the ultimate chassis. The ultimate chassis that doesn't just go like a can, right? Most of the chassis that we have in the modern world are like Coke cans. And so when you get into an accident with another car, it smushes and it stays smushed. Now, there's good things to that because it saves the passengers inside. But I wanted to make something that was better than that. They wouldn't let me. Not you. You can't do like, what was the thing that I called, I had the slogan, engineered by Italians, built in America. You can't do that. You can't do that. And so they clipped my wings as they did with all the other projects that I had. And so Raymonds, Everybody Loves Raymonds Idea, never came to fruition. But anyway, on Elon Fuss's special day, I thought I'd just do a quick video. I said we did the whole walkthrough of how ugly is my face, and it's just a little bit uglier today. Look at this. I was shaving, but I have baby skin, not like The Rock. Maybe I should be using that Papatui. Maybe that'll do something. Anyway, trigger warning. If you guys, I'm going to use Raymonds' latest and greatest joke, which is pretty funny. If you have a heart condition, right? Check your stent warranty before you watch the latest and greatest episode of Eli the Computer Guy, because you just don't want him to teach you about stolen valor. I'm telling you, it's a tearjerker. Don't watch it. If you have problems with your heart, you need to check your warranty on your stent before watching that video. Anyway, I also agree with him on the fact that he's okay with doctors not being fully, fully soldier ready. You don't need a doctor to know how to assemble or disassemble a gun. You don't need them to go through the hardship of climbing and doing all the muscle training and all that stuff, going under trenches and whatever. You don't need to be in the mud and all that stuff and do the crazy things to be a doctor in the field. And in fact, my grandfather from my mother's side was a doctor, a lungs doctor, and x-rays, did all that cool stuff for the military. And I'm glad that he didn't teach me how to build and assemble and disassemble guns and all that stuff. He just taught me a few cool things about the human body when I was a kid. And I thank him for that every day of my life. So luckily I didn't end up like one of those people who, I talk about this all the time. The human skin is the ultimate gaslighting machine because you can look amazing on the outside. Like some of my favorite influencers, was it Rich Piana or something like that? There are a bunch of like these really, I can't remember all the names. Anyway, these awesome influencers that were big and strong and they had shoulders as big as my calf muscles or even my quads. And then you thought they'd live forever because they were strong and powerful. But then there was a whole bunch of problems underneath because our x-ray machines and our MRIs and all that stuff, they don't catch any of this stuff. So you think you're bulletproof and then all of a sudden your heart gives out or something blows up and your whole life is destroyed. So anyway, that's why I don't take drugs and I don't do any of that stuff because I try. I mean, I started aging really early in my 20s. I started looking like an old man. These horrible wrinkles started appearing and all that stuff. And I've been trying to reverse my aging with micro lesion therapy. It is the rebirth as the phoenix by a trillion lesions where we feed our muscles and our bones, not our cancers. But anyway, on Elon Fuss's special day, I thought I'd remind you guys of this. But again, check out or don't check out Eli the Computer Guy's latest episode because, again, as I said before, trigger warning. If you have stent issues, don't watch it because you may have a conniption over what happens. I talk about the iPhone all the time. Like, this is not an iPhone. This is a very cool thing that was sent to me, and it is an awesome machine made out of cool plastics and all the cool stuff. But I'm going to pretend that this is an iPhone. My iPhone, I kid you not, my iPhone fell in between the seats, like right there. And then it fell onto the mats over there. And the iPhone 13 mini screen cracked. That is how bad the iPhone mini 13 and all of everything basically after the mini 12, the screen started becoming a disaster where they just crack. Oh yes, and that was the Toyota RAV4 recalled floor mats. Yes. Can you imagine a Toyota RAV4 floor mat? If you've touched those things, they're really gummy. They're really nice. It managed to crack my iPhone 13 mini screen. Now, do you want those kind of professionals to become soldiers and build things for the military, which needs to be military grade? Can you imagine going and setting up your tent? They have these huge nails. They have these huge ropes that go around the nail, and you smack it into the thing with an iPhone mini 13. What that does to your phone? No, don't do it. Don't do it. That's why you don't want that to be part of the military, especially with all the things that I've been talking about, how they're making everything a pay-to-play system. You don't want those kind of professionals to become soldiers. You just don't. Anyway, those are my thoughts. And on Elon Fuss's day, I will say, happy birthday. See you tomorrow.